Over the years, inventors have sacrificed their lives for the means of science. Today, let's take a look at some of these inventors and how their inventions impacted their life. From attempts to fly gone wrong to an inventor who lost his life by the torture device that he made. Let's take a look at these and more only in today's video. Top 10 inventors destroyed by their inventions, part 2. Starting off this countdown, we have Otto Lilienthal. Otto Lilienthal was referred to as the glider king. Why? Because he invented the hang glider. In fact, over the years, he constructed 18 types of gliders and took over 2,000 glider flights. However, on August 9th, 1896, that was the last flight he would ever take. So he was on his glider when he lost control and the glider went straight into a nosedive. He fell 17 meters down and broke his spine. While on his way down, he yelled, "Sacrifices must be made." Sadly, he passed away the next day in the hospital. Otto's invention, though, had a huge impact on the aviation industry, so he would be proud. Moving on to number 9, we have Francis Edgar Stanley. And if you guys are liking this video so far, then make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, check out part 1 if you haven't already. In 1897, Francis Edgar Stanley and his brother began developing steam-powered cars, and they created their own company, the Stanley Motor Company. From 1902 to 1909, they used their cars in races to prove its efficiency. In fact, they often would place better than gas-powered cars. In 1906, the two built a steam car that won a record for traveling the fastest mile, which was 28.2 seconds, which means it traveled at 127 miles per hour. Sadly, in July of 1918, Francis passed away while driving his car. It's not sure how fast he was driving, but he swerved off the road to avoid hitting some horse-pulled farm wagons and ended up crashing into a pile of logs. The crash took his life. Also, if you guys hear banging, it's because we're getting construction done and it's really distracting, and yeah. Moving on, at number 8, we have Max Valier. Max Valier is best known for his invention of the rocket car. In 1928, he created these rocket cars that could travel up to 145 miles per hour. He invented this because of his desire of traveling between Berlin and New York City in just 1 hour. A year later, he created a rocket-powered sled that hit 250 miles per hour. But that wasn't enough for him. He wanted to go faster. His end goal was to actually help with spaceflight. Sadly, he never got to. In 1930, Max started to experiment with rockets using liquid propellant. But it all went wrong when one of his rockets accidentally exploded. Sadly, he passed away in this explosion. In our 7th spot, we have Wan Hu. Wan Hu was a 16th century Chinese local government official. Believe it or not, he wanted to become an astronaut before the word was even coined. Basically, this guy invented a makeshift rocket ship that he thought would propel him to the moon. He tied 47 rockets to a large wicker chair. Don't come at me. Apparently they had form of rockets back then, okay? Anyways, then he had 47 assistants each light one fuse. There was a lot of smoke, a huge bang, and then when the smoke cleared, Hugh and the chair were gone. Sadly, it didn't work out for him the way that he hoped. Coming in at number 6, we have Louis Jimenez. Louis Jimenez was an American artist best known for his huge fiberglass sculptures. In 2006, Louis was working on a 32-foot high blue Mustang sculpture. It was going to be for Denver International Airport. Sadly, he would never go on to finish his masterpiece. On June 13th, while working on it, a section of the sculpture fell on his leg and severed an artery. He sadly passed away. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Thomas Andrews. Thomas Andrews was a shipbuilder. What ship did he design and build, you may ask? None other than the Titanic. Yep. In fact, he suggested that the Titanic should have more lifeboats. He said there should be at least 46, but no one listened to him and only 20 were added. Anyways, Thomas was aboard the Titanic when it struck the iceberg. He spent the last hours of his life helping people find life jackets and escorting them onto lifeboats. After he felt like his mission was complete, apparently he went into the first-class smoking room and just stared at a painting as the ship went down. Sadly, his body was never recovered, but he went down as a hero. Coming in at number 4, we have Louis Slotin. Louis Slotin is said to be one of the brightest minds of his generation. At one point in his life, he went to London to get his doctorate in chemistry. And then he was actually recruited to work as part of a top secret team to develop the atomic bomb. He was mainly working with uranium and plutonium and other very dangerous chemicals. Sadly, in May of 1946, his hand slipped and he accidentally sent off a fission reaction. This released a burst of radiation hitting him directly. In one version of the story, he actually threw himself over the radioactive materials to protect his colleagues from this blast. He died less than 2 weeks after his exposure. I think that's incredible though, if he really did sacrifice his life to protect his colleagues. Like, what a man. Hit that thumbs up button if you agree. Moving on at number 3, we have James Douglas. And it's weird because I have a friend named James Douglas Ho, but you know, it's not the same person, clearly. I mean, unless he's a time traveler, who knows? James Douglas was the 4th Earl of Morton. In 1564, in Edinburgh, inventors were asked to submit their ideas for an invention that could kill people in a clean manner. James ended up inventing a guillotine-type device that could slice a person's head off in one stroke. Well, guess what? In 1580, he was arrested and charged with being an accessory to murder. He then was sent for execution. And what device did they use to do this? None other than the killing machine that he invented. So he quite literally lost his head to his invention. Coming in at number 2, we have Karel Soucek. This guy was a crazy Canadian stuntman that wanted to do the biggest and most daring stunts out there. One of the stunts he did involved plunging over the Niagara Falls in a barrel that he designed. The barrel was padded and designed so that he would be protected from the jagged rocks at the bottom of the falls. In 1984, he went over the falls and survived. He was injured, but he still managed to complete the stunt. On January 19th, 1985, Karel decided to partake in another stunt. This one, however, would be his last. So for this stunt, he invented a shock-proof padded barrel. His goal was then to be in the barrel and dropped from 180 feet and plunged down into a water tank below. Sadly, on his way down, the barrel missed the tank. It hit the rim of the tank and he was cut from the barrel. He passed away shortly after. And in our number 1 spot today, we have Lisi. Lisi was a chancellor from the Qin dynasty during the 3rd century BC. Well, he invented something called the 5 pains, or the 5 punishments. And it was a very brutal torture method. Basically, the victim would be subjected to 4 very painful and gruesome punishments. After the 4th one, the victim would be executed. So first, their forehead was branded. Then their nose was sliced off. Then their feet. Then their private area. And then finally, they were executed. By that time, the victims were in so much pain that they wanted to be put out of their misery. Now, here's the thing. In 208 BC, Lisi was arrested and charged with conspiring to prevent Fushu from becoming the next emperor. He was then sentenced to die by his own invention. Yeah, I bet he wished he never came up with that in the first place. Ouch. I guess that's what they mean by what goes around comes around. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video. Also, let us know if you want to see part 3. Now, speaking of comments, let's move on to our comment shout out portion. I'll be shouting out comments from the video, top 10 funniest test answers by real kids. Jeremy Keyword Chair commented, I think Lindsay would be an awesome teacher. A's all around. Aw, thank you. I've actually gotten that comment so much. Like, a lot of people comment that. They're like, I want Lindsay as my teacher, or I learn more from Lindsay's videos than I do at school, and I'm flattered. If I didn't get into acting, I thought I would be a drama teacher. So, kind of glad that I didn't go down that route. I like what I'm doing now. The X Factor commented, I wish it was like the actual show by Simon Cowell. That'd be cool if Simon Cowell watches my videos, but I bet he doesn't. Anyway, let's play a game. Every time Lizzie says, technically, take a drink. Technically, I did say a lot. I know. It's because I'm trying to be devil's advocate, okay? Like, I'm trying to see both sides, and I'm like, technically, I know I said it a lot. Take a shot, but take a shot of water. Hydrate yourself. Be healthy. Come on, guys. Dia Cass commented, just thinking about how Lindsay will roast herself for that hair standing on her head. You already know! Oh my god, I was horrified. Okay, I looked in the mirror after I filmed the video and I saw that I just had this, like, literally, it was like this, the whole video. And I was horrified, and since it was a reaction video, I couldn't just refilm it because then my reaction wouldn't be genuine. So I was kind of stuck with that hair sticking out, and I wanted to die. So, story of my life though, story of my life. I don't even know anymore because I smoothed that down specifically and then somehow it just popped up again. Anyway, moving on. We already forgot about it. Hair? What? Who? No, nothing. Alright guys, that's all the comments I'm showing out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shoutout. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see you when I see you.